What is up, guys? Welcome to JS Racing. My name is Jason. It's been quite a long time since my last video. I've been quite busy with testing a lot of the parts that we've been working on, and most importantly, it's the oil filtration system, which we're going to talk about in this video. Now, the oil filtration system is now basically, I would say 99% completed. What you see behind me is basically the second final version of the case cover. It's a billet case cover, and the newer version, it's really just on cosmetic changes, like more rounded edges and stuff to shave off a bit more weight. But other than that, functionally speaking, it's exactly the same. And we've been testing it on different tracks. I even brought it to the race last time. I don't know if I talked about it in my previous video on that race, but we tested it quite thoroughly, and it works perfectly. So in this video, I'm going to talk more in depth on how this system works. But before I get into that, there's actually a bit of a story behind this, because the progress, I would say, is a bit more expedited than we originally thought. Because previously we thought that we would just slowly work on it, perfect it, and then maybe come up with a complete working version, a mass production version, by the end of or the second half of 2025. But there was a guy who contacted me. His name is JCBX. I only know him by that. I don't know how to pronounce his name properly, but he contacted me around, I think, October last year, and he said he wanted some case covers to test. And at that time, I actually don't have a billet version. I only had a version that was from the previous factory that I was working with, and they actually held the IP for that product, so I can't really sell it to this JCBX. So I ended up having to expedite the process of making a billet version. So that meant that I have to design the model for this case cover, because at that time I wasn't really good at modeling. I had to learn SolidWorks. I had to learn how to convert stuff from SketchUp to SolidWorks. So that was a bunch of stuff going on. So I ended up being able to create a file that was able to be used by CNC machines. So the very first sample that I made was way too heavy. So I ended up going back and then shaving off a bit more weight. So that's actually the second version. And the final version I've actually given to another factory, which we are, I would say, partners now, because these guys are really interested in this case cover, and they're going to be able to make it for us for cheap. So having said that, so if JCBX, if you're watching this video or you come across this video, I know that when I first contacted you or replied to you that this version was going to be quite costly, because it was a sample. It was a limited run sample. I only made 3, so it ended up being extremely expensive. So now that I have a factory working with me to do like a production version, I'm going to be able to control the costs and reduce it to maybe a third. So if you're still interested, I will send you one set for free completely. The second set you can pay for it yourself, but it won't be as ridiculous as the cost I gave you. But anyway, so that's the story behind why we sort of push forward, expedited the process. And I'm quite happy, because all that sort of culminated into us finding the right factory, and these guys are now providing us with a lot of other cool parts as well, which I will show you in another video. But anyway, so enough talking, let's get into this case cover. Now, this case cover, as I've mentioned in the previous videos, it filters out the dirty oil. It's able to add horsepower, but I never really explained on how that actually works. Now, having clean oil in the system is great for longevity, but it really doesn't add horsepower. So I'm going to get into the adding horsepower part. And the one very important element is actually the crankshaft. So I'm going to show you here. I don't know if you see this. So there's this hole here. What that is connected to is the clean oil output from the case cover. So the clean oil feeds into the crankshaft, and all the clean oil comes out here. And the best part is you can control the pressure at which the oil shoots out. So I don't know if you've seen those like huge marble balls in those parks, and it's suspended by like a fountain and it's rolling and it doesn't seem to have any friction. And if you push it, it seems to be quite easy to push, and you can change the direction in which it rolls. And basically, it's pretty much like, I wouldn't say exactly the same, but it's similar effect where you have oil shooting out from this hole, and then it coats this entire area. And because the oil is continuously shooting out with a bit of a pressure, it's able to sort of like reduce the resistance of the crankshaft and connecting rod connection, so that it's able to turn a lot easier, hence why it adds horsepower. So if you just use the case cover by itself, it will not give you that effect. Although it does give you clean oil, it does not provide you with that extra improved lubrication effect from this hole. And this crankshaft, you can use it by itself, but it won't have that effect because it needs to work with the case cover to actually provide that extra lubrication. So we are now working with this factory to give us to create these crankshafts in two different versions. One is a 54 millimeter stroke, which is a very standard stroke, and the other one is either 58 or 59 millimeter stroke. It's going to be able to provide a lot more torque, and I think a lot of people wants to have a bigger stroke as well when they're working with their engine. And this case cover, this crankshaft works with all Honda GX200 clones. I'm not very familiar with all the other different models, whatever Predator or whatever, but it works with that particular crankcase system. So, like for example, this is a 240 crankcase, but because it's the same shape, size, dimensions, everything, the crankshaft will work. And right here in this case, I've installed the 59 stroke sort of crankshaft, and we will have a version where the holes, the oil line is in there, so that allows the 59 stroke to also have the extra lubrication effect. And the best part about this 59 stroke is if you have this crankcase, it's pretty much flush. When I measured it, it's only about 0.44 millimeter below this flush line, this line. But yeah, I mean, the compression rate from this is going to be insane. So yeah, we have a 54 and a 59 or 58 in production. I think the new version is going to look a lot better than this, but I think this one looks very sexy already. I mean, it's got the Cardsmith, and it's got the new JS Racing logo on it. It looks very good. And this is what it looks like, completely installed onto an engine. So, yep. So this here is the adapter. This is the adapter, okay, that goes to this port, and there's like this installation groove there that you have to match up with. And the point of this groove is to actually, like, it's sort of like an interference fit. It's not that tight, but it does hold it in place very well. So that's the idea. But anyway, it's a very simple contraption, and we do have another accessory that goes with this adapter. That is, I think I mentioned in a previous video, it's like a sort of like an oil coolant adapter where you can actually attach a sort of intercooler to the system, and also you can have like sensors connected to this port. So this port is a M10 times I think 1 port, where you can have like those AIM thermal sensors attached to it. You can have oil pressure sensor attached to it, which is very important because you don't want to have like the oil pressure of the pump too high, because when we tried that before, it would sort of like rip the gear to sort of, I wouldn't say to shreds, but like it does damage it. So that, like, I'm talking about the gear that drives the pump. Anyway, so so this is what it looks like. It's beautiful, but it's a bit on the heavy side. It's about 1 kilogram, but for a billet cover, I think, I mean, any other billet cover on the market is still around that weight anyway. So yeah, it's very sturdy. And also we are going to fit the cover port with like a viewable port, so you can actually see the oil level from this port. And from this side, it's like an Allen key sort of cover. Yep. As for the internals, it's going to use a 6305 bearing, so it's a larger size bearing. It's a lot better for higher power application, and there will be a version 2 in the future where we're going to have the camshaft hole also with a bearing in it. So the current version will not have the bearing. The newer version in the future will have the bearing, but I don't know when that will be. I mean, it's not that difficult anyway. It's just a matter of opening up the hole and then redoing the model a little bit. But yeah, I mean, we just want to get this first version out first, and it's works really well. I mean, we've tested this cover with different engines of different power levels, and it works very, very well. So the horsepower that it adds is not really like fixed. So for example, if I add it to like the previous old engine, which is like a baseline 15 horsepower, it added 2 horsepower to it. But if I were to make the base model of the engine more powerful, it will add a bit more than 2 horsepower, maybe 2 point something or even 3. So I mean, just this extra lubrication alone is going to make it so much better. It's like 3 horsepower, and it's making the oil cleaner and allows the engine to last longer, and you don't have to change the oil out as frequently as previously. I mean, if you run in the engine properly and then you run the engine well, you maintain it well, you really don't need a filtration system, because I mean, we've gone with many hours of driving for our engines with no filtration system, and it's still working fine. It's just that you need to be more diligent with your maintenance, oil changes. But with the filtration system, you don't need to do that. But on top of that, the added benefit is that you get that extra bit of lubrication and horsepower, which is fantastic. So anyway, so the factory we're working with, these guys also do like export. So they export to Americas, Europe, Southeast Asia, whatever. So once we got the mass production sort of model done, we'll be able to sort of start shipping out these things. So yeah, if you guys are interested, let me know, and I'll let you guys know when it'll be available for you. Anyway, so that's it for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.